Alright everyone, welcome back. It is now the next night, day 2 of filling the system. This is still full. Before I disconnected it tonight, I left it connected overnight. I powered the pump back up, opened everything back up, and then closed everything again, ran it all through. No air came out, so pretty confident everything's good on that. Disconnected and went over to my first Snowmelt manifold, and this time I started on the left, and right now I have the first 3 loops full. So I added another 5 gallons of antifreeze and 2 gallons of water. I'm getting a reading on the refractometer of like a 41% glycol, I think it said, maybe even 44. It says -10. So, you know, if I'm looking at this, -10 is telling me I'm good to -22, -37, -60. I mean, those are pretty deep numbers, but something cool I thought I'd show you guys. I mean, as I'm standing here pumping this, you can feel how cold the glycol is in these lines as it comes back, and the manifold was starting to condense. So I got my infrared gun here, and well, it's come up a little bit because the pump's been off, but this was down to like 28 degrees. The glycol was coming back. So yeah, pretty neat. These aren't super reflective, so it doesn't read well. That's why I actually put the black electrical tape on these pipes, is so when they're on, the infrared gun will read the black electrical tape a lot better than the shiny copper. So it's just a trick I read online. So I'm going to keep going. I'm going to dump another 5-gallon bucket in, 2 more gallons of water. I might even add a 3rd gallon of water just to bring that percentage down. I think it's a little high. And then I'll open everything up and let it mix. And but yeah, so far so good. I'll bring you guys back when I've got the pump on and we're moving here, and I'll do some fun readings with this and show you what I got. So I'll be right back. Okay guys, she's running. I still have those first 3 loops open. As you can see, we're getting some condensation there. So I added another 5 gallons and I added 3 gallons of water this time, and I'm going to try to show you what the refractometer reads. So dip this in here. You guys can see this. I'm going to try. You can see that's see that blue line? So that's reading pretty much rated about 41%, a little bit above, so maybe like -6 degrees. So -6. You know, -6, I'm good. Freeze down to -15. Pumpable to -26. So that's good. That's a good place to be. This one might be a little bit lighter with water because I added that extra gallon, but I probably won't do that for the rest of them. So as I fill the rest of this manifold, I'm probably going to need to add 1 more, maybe. And it'll bring the glycol percentage back up a little bit, I think. So, yeah, these are ice cold coming back, which is good. So I'm going to go ahead and shut down this one. Shut down this one. And shut down this one. Turn the pump down a little bit. I'm going to open this one. I'm going to open this one. It's just tight. Okay, here we go. So we should start getting bubbles. Oh yeah. I'm gonna turn her down just a little bit more so that those don't blow everywhere. I got this about half. Could go a little bit lower. I mean, I could crank it up, but it really makes it turbulent, and it's not that it's doing any harm. It's not toxic. It's propylene glycol, so it's... But if I don't have to make a mess, why make a mess? It only takes maybe 40 seconds, 35 seconds to get that initial air out, and then I can crank it right up, and it's just purging, getting a good flow, good flush through whatever's left in the line. So thinking about this, I'm probably going to have to insulate all the Snowmelt pipes really well. I mean, I kind of started to over here, but it's gonna be real cold coming back when it first fires up. It's probably gonna condense down here. It really can't hurt anything. I mean, it is the basement, but okay, see how the bubbles stopped pretty much? I mean, little ones. So we'll turn her back up a little bit. And then I kick it over on full. I don't know if it really does anything. It seems to give it a little bit more. So 3 more loops, and then we're done with this manifold. And that's probably where I'll stop for tonight. Thinking, maybe do this manifold tomorrow night, I'm thinking. So that would be Thursday night. And then maybe Friday night I could try to do this and what's left, and maybe even some of the piping, and then whatever's left Saturday morning I can purge the rest and turn it on. It's supposed to get real cold this weekend, I think. I think Friday or Saturday the high is like 9 degrees, so it'll be a good test for it. There's still snow on the driveway. There's probably 2 inches, 2.5 inches on the driveway. So if I can get a time lapse set up, it might take 5 or 6 hours for this to start to melt it. But I do have 400,000 BTUs available here, so it should be interesting to see these things in action. I can almost guarantee we'll be using a lot more than 80,000 BTUs. One thing I'm kind of worried about a little bit is the outlet side of the heat exchanger, the domestic side, freezing. I mean, I would think the primary loop would keep that warm enough, but if that 100 plate heat exchanger can suck off, you know, from 130 down to below 32, I mean, this could start to freeze that heat exchanger. So I'm gonna have to watch that. I have temperature gauges to mount here that will, with probes that'll go on the in and out of both sides. So if it starts to get like really cold, I can shut it off, and I'll have to figure that out, figure out how I want to do that. That's looking pretty good. Let's go ahead and open up some of these other ones. I kind of like to do this. It seems to get more air out of the manifold. You can hear that pump. Hear that volume of that pump change. Hopefully that pump's okay. Pushing fluid this cold. I would think it would just help the motor stay cooler. I try to do the supply first. Okay, so these 4 are pushing right now. and they're ice cold. Let me get my thermometer. Nice and cool. Doesn't really work on the shiny surface. Might work on that tape. Yeah, not very accurate though. It's kind of jumping around. Tank's at 130, so this is going to shut off in a second. So now that that's mixed up a little bit, let's go ahead and check it again just for fun. I didn't wipe that off very good. Ooh, it's cold. Let's see if I can show you guys this again. That's showing up, but kind of right between -5 and -10, which is between 41 and 44%. So I'm going to say we're like 42% glycol, which is good. That's a good number. You don't want too much glycol because the glycol prevents heat transfer. The more water's a better transfer medium for heat. So, you know, some of you might be thinking, well, why don't you just let it go to 50 or 60% glycol? Who cares, you know? But then you lose the efficiency of the system to pick up heat from the units, because the water is what's really doing a lot of the heat transfer. Oh yeah, this is ice cold. This is closed and this is still really cold. Some condensation on there. All right, I think we got enough there. Should we open another one up? Let's close down the return, supply, return, supply. Back down. We're going to open up the supply first and then the return. And that's getting low enough now where it's really not, doesn't have to be as low because it doesn't really splash out. So far I'm pretty happy with this tote idea. I just figured it'd be easier with than the 5-gallon buckets with adding the extra water to dilute it. And so far, I mean, that lets me get like 4 gallons of water and 2 5-gallon buckets in there, so fills it up pretty good, but lets me open up more and more loops without having to stop every time, move the hoses, and introduce more air, or dump one bucket in and Okay. So 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. So those are the long loops in the driveway that run down the middle. 9 does part of the front walkway, and 8 and 9 both turn into the side entryway here a little bit. So what's left on that manifold? 11 and 13 are the next two. So that'll be these two. That'll be the one over here in the corner, and then the one right to the right in front of the garage. Okay, so far so good. We got all 7 loops full. And cold. And condensing. Pretty happy with this. The only thing I noticed, this one is okay. This one leaks. When I open it up, it'll leak out glycol. It's gonna pee out there. I don't know if that's, I don't know what the deal is with that, but it's alright. I got plenty of other air elimination in the system here where if that one is faulty, I think I'll be okay. So I think we're looking good on air bubbles. I'm going to leave these on just until I get it up and running, so I can balance these if I need to increase or decrease flow. Through certain areas, try and level them all out so I know which loops are which. And then I'll probably take all those stickers off because I have it documented which one is which one. They don't need to be on there. So let's do some more checking with the gun here. Not that it matters, but it's fun. Say on the outside of that PEX, if it's reading correctly, is like 34 degrees. Glycol's like 30, 31. I did this outside in the driveway a few minutes ago. It's the surface temperature of the snow on the slab is like 18 degrees. So let's while that's doing its final purge here, let's shut this one down. I don't know if you noticed, but as I close these, the flow increases on the other one, whereas on that one, this pump had enough to keep them all at full flow. This does not, and I have a feeling it's because this glycol is so cold that it's thickening up a little bit, like maple syrup. I don't think it's quite that thick, but alright, what I'm going to do here is, it's that last loop. I'm going to go ahead and close this. Close this so it's under pressure. Close the return. Close the supply. Shut the pump off. Okay, I think we're good for the night. Pretty happy so far with the way this is going. It takes me about an hour and a half to do a manifold. It took me longer last night because it was my first time, but now that I'm getting the hang of it, you know, and I probably would go faster if I didn't take the time to do one and then two and then go back and open one, and then on three I go back and open two and one, and I just like to, you know, do an extra purge there, get all the air out. So if I didn't do that, if I just went one, closed it, next one, on, off, next one, I could probably do this in 40 minutes, but it's okay. My time is free, right? So let's, just for fun here, before I sign off, let's just check the old refractometer again here. Ooh, that is cold. Yeah, I think we're looking good here. Let me turn this screen on so I can see what you guys are seeing. Where is it? Right, like right there. If it can focus on that. There we go. So we are like 40, I want to say like 41, 42%. We're halfway between that. We're reading the one all the way to the right, by the way, propylene glycol. So yeah, when I look at that, I'm seeing like between -5 and -10 somewhere. So according to our chart, you know, -5, I mean -6 gets us down to -15, and -10 gets us to -22. So we're somewhere down, you know, freeze protection down to there, but it can still be pumpable to either -26 or -37. I mean, it's never going to get that cold here. And if it does, and I'm really worried about it, I could fire it up. I mean, I'd pretty much just be throwing BTUs out to the wind, because it's really not going to keep up when it's that cold, but it would stop it from freezing. But I don't think it's ever been that cold here. Maybe wind chill, but not actual temperature. So anyway, that's it for tonight, guys. I'm gonna leave this like this. So I've got 2 manifolds full. I've still got 2 more. I'll have to do a count of how much glycol I've used, how much water I've used. Let's see, I took 2 buckets out to the garage already, empty buckets. So that's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. I've used 6 5-gallon buckets so far, plus what's in there. So I haven't really used it. I think I bought 12. I think about 12 of them. Can go look. Yeah, I have 6 left. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, and I have plenty of water left. So 2, 4, 6, 8, 10, 12. 2, 4, 6, 8, 10, 12. Yeah, and then plus I have 4 more over there. So I got plenty of water. I think I should have plenty of glycol. I'm halfway there, and I looked at my spreadsheet last night after I was done down here, and this manifold actually takes the most because these loops are a little longer. For some reason, this manifold I only have calculated using like 9 gallons. I'll have to double check, make sure that's right, because I know the garage loops are like 300 and something feet total. But on my spreadsheet, there's formulas where you can take 1/2-inch packs, and you know how much, or they know, the manufacturer knows how much glycol or water, you know, a foot of 1/2-inch packs will hold. So then you multiply by how many feet you have, and I have a spreadsheet that has all my lengths in it. So I believe this manifold was like 15 gallons, which sounds about right, because we used 3 last night when we did it, plus, you know, 8 gallons of water, or 6 gallons of water. And we still had a bunch left in the tote. So This one only calls for like 9 gallons, I think. I do think that one of the basement loops is much shorter. So maybe that's it. I think one of these is like only 180 feet. The other ones are 300, 300, 300, 300, and then that one's short. So maybe that's why it's so much less. But I got to balance that flow out too. If I had it to do over, I would have tried to even them out a little bit more down here. But I was following a plan and that I had purchased before I really knew enough myself to figure it out. So anyway, that's enough of me rambling. So far so good. Tomorrow night, that manifold. Friday night, that one. Saturday, we turn it on, see if it can melt some snow and heat some floors. Alright guys, thanks for watching.